Hi, I'm Alex. Welcome to my channel and to this yin yoga practice, which acts as a bridge for you today to take you from that busy day space into that quiet wind down space where you might be getting ready to switch off and get ready for sleep. So this practice is a bridge for you to do that, to take a moment to stop, pause, give your body and your mind a little bit of self-care. Allow the nervous system to settle and to soothe. So join me here in your space. Have whatever you need. You don't really need any props. I've got a couple of cushions for one of our shapes, as I find it really quite helpful, but you could use blocks or blankets, whatever it is you have around you. My mat is padded with a blanket as well for comfort. You could also be doing this space on a bed if you have a particularly firm mattress, so that's something for you to consider as well. Join me here in a cross-legged seat. You might choose to put one of those cushions underneath your bottom for a little bit of extra comfort. We are just going to take a little bit of movement, something we will do between our yin shapes this evening. So that gift of working with the energy in the body to slow it down before we invite in some stillness. So we're just going to work through the spine and notice those pockets of tension, the pockets of space, whether it's waving from side to side or creating circles with the body. Keep it nice and slow and contained. And again, from here you might introduce a little bit of movement into the shoulders. Take a breath in, sigh it away, and just pop the fingertips down either side of the body, gently waving from one side to the other. And as you come to the right side, just going to take the fingertips of that left hand and leading with the elbow, just drawing a few circles. Those circles might get a little bit bigger with each wave. You might choose to pause at the top and just reach over into the side body. And then take it over to the opposite side. Again, just leading with the elbow. So we don't want to be super straight and rigid with the limbs. We want to allow the energy to move freely and easily through the body. Again, maybe taking those circles a little bit wider now. Maybe pausing at the top, taking the stretch through the side of the body. And drawing back over, coming back to center. We'll take 3 seated cat-cows here. So just drawing the palms down to the knees. Take a breath in. As you do, just draw the chest and then lift the gaze. And then as you exhale, hug in, rounding out through the upper back and shoulders, dropping the chin to the chest. And then again, inhale, draw forwards and then up. And exhale, hug in and then round out through. Last one. And just release the hands behind you and just uncross the legs. We've been here for a few minutes. Just take the legs straight out in front of you. Maybe give them a shake or just windshield wiper the knees one way and then the other, whatever feels good for you. We're going to come down onto that mat space into our first shape. Both of these are going to be down on the mat. That's why I suggested if it feels good for you, you could do this on your bed if you like. So we're going to come into a shape called banana. banana asana. And we're going to just lift the hips over to the right, and then we're just going to lift the body over to the left hand side. So we're going to take the legs out straight and then walk them across to that left side. So we start creating that banana shape. Now this can feel quite intense quite quickly if the legs are quite far over. You might choose to cross the legs as well. But you can back it off a little bit, just adjust it and see what works for you. And then we're going to be taking the arms up overhead and just taking hold of that right wrist to again bring that completion of that banana shape all the way up through to the top of the body here. And we might settle into one particular sensation, or we might notice more than one sensation in terms of where we feel in this shape, whether it's up here in the rib cage, maybe through the glute and the IT band, maybe somewhere else. But we're going to be settling here for 1 to 2 minutes. So when you find something that works for you, we're going to aim to settle into that edge of stretch, closing down the eyes and finding awareness of our breath. Breathing in through the nose and either out through the nose or the mouth. Just allowing that exhale to maybe be a little bit longer. So that we can really settle into this shape, cultivating stillness to work with those fascia lines, the sideline of the body. With this next breath, getting ready to make a change. Releasing the hands and just drawing the arms back down by the side of the body, uncrossing the legs. And then just recentering the body. Have a little look in between. You might choose to just bring the feet to flat here, gently lift the pelvis and slowly lower it back down. Just to provide a pelvic reset before we come over to the opposite side. And this time we're going to lift the hips to the left side of the mat. Just draw the body towards the right side of the mat, extending the legs, maybe walking them around a little bit more, maybe crossing the legs if that feels good for you, or you can leave them uncrossed, and then taking the arms up overhead, maybe catching hold of that left arm this time, and the gaze coming over to the right as you settle into the opposite side. Knowing that this might feel a little bit different, take those first few moments to just fidget. We don't want to roll the hip all the way over. We want the pelvis to be kind of planted and then just to be working on feeling the stretch up through the sideline of the body, that lateral side bend. You might feel it in a different place on this side. Use the breath to settle into this space. And then just as you did before, allow your exhale to get a little bit longer. So we can begin to unwind and unravel and release tension where it might exist in the body. Just as we did before, getting ready to make a change with this next breath. Releasing the arms. Maybe bringing the feet to flat, recentering the hips, recentering the body. Just take a moment, lift the pelvis, float it back down. And then just allow the legs to come long. Take a breath in, sigh it away. And from here, just take a few moments to lean into any feeling states, whether they're physical or energetic or emotional, before we move on. This regular check-in, this moment to pause, is how we learn to communicate and listen to the body. Just wiggle the fingers and the toes. We're going to transition here into a reclined butterfly. I am going to use these two pillows in this shape to support my thighs. You don't have to do this, especially if you have a larger degree of flexibility. But if you are carrying quite a lot of tightness, this can be really helpful so it doesn't feel like you're hanging out and putting pressure on the hips as we're working on that kind of lateral rotation. Joining the soles of the feet together and then just allowing the knees to drop wide, so you could pad out quite a lot by folding the cushions over, bringing them directly underneath the glutes. This is going to make me feel really supported, so it's a little bit restorative as well. And then for me, I'm going to bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. But if you want a little bit more of a sensation to bring the upper body into it, you could also just draw the arms overhead as well. That can feel quite nice. Just choose what works for you here, just as you did before. Have a little fidget so that you can really settle into stillness in this shape. allowing you to breathe in all the way through the body, and then releasing all the way out. Taking your time to work with your breath, allowing the energy of the breath to travel all the way through the body. Working with the gateway of the hips, an area where we can store a lot of tension. Knowing that if that feels like something that's going to be too intense to hold, you can also draw the feet further away from you. If your arms are overhead, bring them back down to connect to the body. Maybe drawing the hands to the legs just to help draw the knees back together. Releasing any support that you might have been using. Releasing the legs. Maybe a small shake of the legs before bringing the feet to flat. And again, just take a breath, lift the pelvis up. And exhale, lower back down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Last one. From here, navigate your way onto your side. Pausing for a moment for any final reflections or observations. And then supporting yourself back up into a seated position of your choice. And just sealing this practice with some small movements through the spine. Drawing the hands to your heart center. And just thanking yourself for that gift of time to pause and to slow down, to take that path from the busyness of the day into the wind down of the evening, allowing body and mind to settle. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I will see you soon.